Oh, look at that. It started us right away, it looks like. How nice. How far back did it go, Mike?
There we go. I'm coming live now.
Look at that. It started us right away, it looks like. Whoa. How nice. All right. So people that are watching this are going to realize that we are not trained professionals. We're doing this because it's fun, and we want to keep things light and positive for everybody that's watching. So if you want some serious in-depth conversation, this is probably not going to be the right solution for you. Just a quick heads up. Would you say that's a fair assessment there?
Oh, Mike? I agree. This is just two guys having lunch and just just talking about things, talking about life, trying to keep it positive since we're all stuck in this situation.
Yeah. So I'm Tony Demakis. I work at Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales. We have a podcast called the Manufacturing Alliance, and I know Mike from the TMA and all of his involvement. And I asked Mike Magliano if he would join me because, he's just an overall positive guy, like I like to associate with. And he's in the Christians and Manufacturing group with me, and he's always bringing more people. I think you're on like super platinum at this point for membership.
Diamond.
Yeah, so diamond TMA, and platinum.
Yeah, so TMA, Technology Manufacturing Association, created a kind of a rewards for members and to bring in new guests or new industrial manufacturing companies. So the first time I met TMA, I asked them, what are you looking for? What do you need? They said, we want new manufacturing members. I said, that's easy. So I brought in 12 new manufacturing companies into TMA that have signed up over the last 10 years. So it's easy, it's fun, and it's value add. So it's not a hard sell. It's like, hey, Tony, do you know about TMA? No. Do you want to go have a drink and go meet other manufacturers and get some value? Yes.
And a free dinner.
Yeah,
that helps.
Yeah, it does. Simple.
If you keep this up and the real estate thing doesn't work, you can have Kent's job.
I think I'm going to.
When he retires, I'm not saying
don't kick Kent out. Come on.
No, I love Kent.
Yeah, Kent's a great guy in TMA. You don't push him out.
No, not at all. So this is lunch. What are you eating today?
I am, since everyone calls me Bubble Boy, I'm the food allergy guy of every group. So going out to lunch, breakfast, or dinner with me is always a challenge. Or it's a good time and it's good talking conversation points. So I have just a salad minus the lettuce, since I'm the only person in the world I think is allergic to lettuce. So I have a salad with cucumbers, celery, a little chicken, avocado, black olives, red onions, and some carrots. So that's lunch right now. Obviously, as you can imagine, eating at home is kind of the thing to do. We obviously try to support our local businesses around us, but you can only do so much, and you kind of get sick of the whole new process of going and waiting in lines outside and bringing all the food in and so on and so forth. But we're trying to support as much as we can, but we're also obviously eating more at home.
Yeah, we just had Giorgio's last night from Crystal Lake, and it's so funny. They just call you and they're like, "Hey, so pizza's outside." Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go get it.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, it's a new world. Unfortunately, it's not going to go back anytime soon to what we were accustomed. Eventually it will, as we all know. We all have a short but long memory. So I think that at this point we're gonna have this new implications and changes in the world, and then eventually it's gonna kind of go back to what we were used to. It might take a year, but who knows?
I was listening to a sermon. Again, I'm going to go back to Elevation Church with Pastor Furtick, and he was talking about how we're not going to go back to normal. We're going to go forward to the new normal.
I could see that. I mean, we're talking about the new norm at work, and that's just everything that we're kind of preparing for. Is how are we going to advise our clients to go back to work, and what are the new safety measures? I mean, obviously, you're going to hear all these keywords of social distancing, 6 feet apart, and so on and so forth. But what is that going to really look like when you leave your house? And obviously, I think you're going to get a flavor of that in May 1st when JB told us to wear a mask.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Are you going to go get yourself a cool customized mask? I want to get a mask of my face.
That would be pretty amazing. So would you go with the light beard, clean shaven Tony, or the goatee, or like, just like a mustache?
I think what I would do is I get like 5 of them. So every day of the week it would change. So, one day maybe you have the handlebars, then you got just a flavor saver soul patch going on, a little mustache. I think that would be fun.
I think it'd be hilarious. One of my buddies sent me on Facebook. It's it's pretty funny. It is it's like almost like a neck wrap that goes up and pulls up to about your nose, and
Yep.
it's Chewbacca's face.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that this weekend. So I don't care if it's a regulated mask; it's covering my face, and I think that is what it is. But if you put a hat on and glasses, and you have the Chewbacca face going up, I think that's something that I'm gonna definitely do. I did buy a Cubs, just a cloth mask from
Yep.
someone who's making them. They're stitching them and doing quilting at home.
Yep.
So obviously trying to help the people who need help in putting together some of these things.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to see how new things are coming out. I just hope people don't start taking advantage of it and just exploiting the fact that we all need these things, right? Like sell something, that's kind of cool, that's fun, but let's keep it reasonable. Because eventually there's going to be the $500 high-end mask out there.
Are you gonna bling it out, Tony?
Yes, totally. You're gonna bedazzle it. We're gonna
Yeah,
have
exactly.
bedazzled masks.
I can give it to my 3 girls and just tell them, look, just bedazzle it and do whatever you want with it, and I'll wear that.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'll do
Uh,
that. Your mask game has to be strong in these new times. I mean, think about it. I'm going out every day once we get the approval, since eventually one day I'll be essential again. I think I am essential now, but I think every day you got to show up with a new mask and something different.
I think that would be so much fun. Hillary wants to know, how is somebody allergic to lettuce?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, isn't it just like water?
It's water and leaf. So it's anything leafy, lettuce and spinach. For whatever reason, I get welts. Don't ask me why. That's why I'm special. My mom says I'm special. Everyone else does too. So it's just been consistent with my life. So I'm just going to stick to, I have no idea, but I just stay away from it.
That's awesome. At least you know.
Yeah, true. And nothing's life or death. Look, I have 15 different food allergies and 0 have to deal with an EpiPen. So everyone that is, out there dealing with kids or family members that have EpiPens,
Yeah.
that's, I feel for them, but mine more starts as allergy symptoms and then kind of get knocked on my butt. Hillary says they're selling bridal masks. That came up in a conversation yesterday.
$150, 150 plus.
That is unbelievable.
That is insane.
I
mean, who's wearing those?
So we had a Zoom call with a couple other networking partners. I call them the Mover Network. So any companies that deal with helping manufacturing and distribution companies move. We had our Zoom call yesterday.
Okay.
And Amy Arend.
Yeah.
She is getting married in, I think it's next month.
Okay.
And obviously Big Brother's watching her, and Google and everything. So they see her searching on the web for Google and all this stuff, and she starts getting all these emails on different masks for the wedding. And she's like, there's no way am I going to wear that.
I mean, they've been doing it in the Middle East for years. I mean, I don't want to get in a political thing, but they're prepped.
Oh yeah, there's no issues on any PPE masks or anything else like that.
I don't know if that's politically incorrect or I'm going to get in trouble for that, but that's the joy of it being your own show.
I'm Italian, so people expect me to not be politically correct. So I don't. It is what it is, I guess.
I think that's why we get along.
Yeah, true. But yeah, it's definitely been an interesting time. Getting accustomed to working at home and trying to figure out what is going on in this new world, and as regards to real estate, to manufacturing, to distribution, to things I think are evolving on a weekly basis.
How's that working? Are you still? I mean, I saw the picture that we used in our promotion with the upside down mask.
Yeah.
No
one gave me a training.
Yeah.
No one gave me a training seminar, and I'm doing a lot of e-learning at home with the kids, helping them out. And I think putting on the mask is almost as challenging as e-learning at this point.
It could be. I mean, everything has to be instructed. There's no reason you should expect to know that.
But I think the shape of my chin, it just felt right to have that metal clip on the bottom.
Okay.
So I think I just put it on quickly as they're showing up, and I was like, yeah, it kind of is what it is at this point.
I mean, you can justify it however you want. I won't say no.
There's no justification. I just put it on backwards.
So are
So,
people wanting to go see property? How is real estate sales, industrial property sales right now?
oh, everything, I would say about 80 and 90% of things that are new business have been put on hold.
Yep.
As you can imagine, my clientele is anyone who makes or ships anything.
Yep.
Their business has changed significantly from either transitioning to manufacturing parts for PPE or just trying to keep their business going. So unless there's a need of a project that isn't stopping, any and all new business right now is being put on hold. So with that being said, however, if you are the largest e-commerce company that is out there, they're going to sign probably about a half a dozen to 10 new leases in Chicago probably within the next 6 months. I probably shouldn't say that, but kind of is what it is. It's Tony's
You
show. I
didn't
can't get
name
in trouble.
anything. It could be
Yeah,
anybody. I mean,
exactly.
listen, where people's minds wander, that's up to them. That's not on us.
But shipping, e-commerce, logistics, that's still moving in some sense. A lot of short-term needs are coming out there. For example, if you didn't have room in your plant and you put together 50,000 units and you had to store it somewhere until it got shipped out. We're seeing a lot of short-term needs around the corner, in some of the buildings that are out there, but everything's kind of on hold. From a perspective of this is that pre-COVID, we'll call it, manufacturing and distribution was ramping up, especially manufacturing. It seemed like it was a soft late last year, but things were ramping up in the first quarter according
Agreed.
to all the numbers. So out of all the sectors and the verticals in real estate, industrial is going to be the one that's going to be the least impacted because I believe that 90% of most industrial companies are still working at some capacity.
I think they are. I think, and I did a blog post about it, how U.S. manufacturing is not only essential, it's necessary and critical to survival in so many different ways. I mean, just look at the way all the manufacturers and plastic companies have switched what they were currently working on to adapt and fill the needs, whether it's making ventilators or masks or shields or whatever it is. Everybody seemed to step up in the immediate to get things done, and I think that sends a real positive message.
Yeah, we talk about, now the key word is essential workers. And obviously,
Right.
if you have the frontline workers of healthcare that, thank you. Without, I can't say thank you enough of what everyone's
Absolutely.
doing on that. And then you have, kind of coming down the lines where, you have essential workers that are in the grocery and kind of that vertical there. But when you start talking about a essential industry, which is, I think, forgotten at times,
Yep.
I think it's the manufacturing distribution world.
Yeah.
We're in this new norm that I can pick up this thing right here and I can say, all right, I want this done. It's here in my house in 2 days. But I think people don't realize what's going on and
And
how
behind the
does
scenes.
it, what behind the scenes and what happens. So there's a lot going on right now, and manufacturing companies are just so they're amazing. They adapt, and some are in survivor mode, and others are helping the cause if they can kind of transition to making parts. So I guess consistently I've seen March or I've heard from clients and prospects and everyone else is that March was still good. April's kind of trailing off. So I
Yeah.
think it's just a matter of how long are we here. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that we could start opening up things. Obviously we got to be responsible for doing that. So, we just take the safety of our employees and clients, family members and everything. But, I do think things can open up sooner than it looks like it's going to be in Illinois.
So this is a question. Let's give some application to our call, right?
Sure.
Nicole Walter was asking me, what's the point of this? Are you covering any specific topics? And I said, I don't know, whatever I want to talk about, whatever Mike wants to talk about, that's what we'll talk about. But
Sure.
you and I talked briefly, and I think that a lot of people are in sales, and it's a tough gig right now. And that's your whole thing, right? I mean, you're a sales guy.
Yep.
You're a good one at it. I mean, you
Thank
don't
you.
act like a sales guy, which I really, really, really appreciate, because I hate that when you can see it a mile away. But what's your strategy right now? I mean, how do you work?
It's so if you look at perspective from the last recession we had was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, you were still able to go out, stop by someone's plant, meet someone, have coffee, have lunch, talk to them about business, do other things, and even pick up the phone and call, even some cold calls, warm calls, and so on and so forth. But that whole sector or that whole way of meeting people, gone,
Yep.
gone. And, honestly, it took me 2 weeks to really, get that built up angst out of me because I'm never home. I mean, honestly, I'm never home. I'm working. I'm always on the road. I'm probably about 70% out of the office in front of people and then 30% in the office. And then when I do get home, it's usually 5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So so it took me a good couple weeks to really find my, comfort level. And I know after talking to other sales professionals, that's the same thing. So I think it's just trying to be a source, a good resource to people. And as
Yeah.
we know, we've talked about this 100 times, and this is why you do your podcast. You want to be a resource to help people. You want to help people outside of what you do at Alliance,
Yep.
and that's what our both of our, kind of we'll call it our business motto is that what can we do to help outside of our trade?
Yep.
And, I'm fortunate that at Cushman, they have a lot of insight out there right now on what's going on. And they're using their insight from their Wuhan offices and Netherlands offices and how things are recovering. And it's been well received by everyone. So it's an easy send and have a quick conversation. But, like I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I called you and said, hey, how's everyone doing?
Yep.
How's your everyone healthy at the plant? How's the family? I mean, those things are, what I'm really focusing on, and just connecting with people, just having good conversations and just saying, where do you think this is going? My crystal ball broke a long time ago, so I have no idea what's going to happen. But if I can get the perspective of of my clientele and how they feel, I
Right.
feed off of that energy. So I would say just continue being a resource for people. Um, we're doing a couple webinars on some of these. Cushman and Wakefield has this roadmap for recovery that they're doing.
Okay.
So we're actually getting in front of different groups and doing webinars just to help, because again, manufacturers are working, but their plants are adapting, and it's probably still not the right way of the new norm.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be any regulation to push them into doing this, but it's going to be the norm that it's like if you go out right now to the grocery store, the norm
Hmm.
is you should wear a mask. You don't have to. So if I don't wear a mask, the society is going to look at me and kind of give me that shame. So
Now
do you
you're
want
the
that?
weird one.
Exactly. But then it comes down to liability in businesses, and you don't want to be as a business owner, you don't want to have that liability hang over your
Right.
head.
I liked what you said earlier when you were like, I'm not making cold calls. I mean, nobody wants to talk about that right now. They
Yeah.
can't.
No, no. I mean, why do they want to waste their, kind of energy and their time frame to do that?
Right.
So if I can provide a resource or somewhere, I've connected manufacturers to our friends at different manufacturing associations in the state who have could help them get pointed in the right direction to make PPE stuff. I mean, as
Right.
simple as that. So I mean, there doesn't have to be a real estate theme to it. But overhead is one of the top costs for businesses. So we're having a bunch of conversations to try to mitigate that with sale leasebacks or trying to get some relief from the landlords. But the landlords want you to tack on that rent relief to the
Right.
end or pay it back within 6 months. I mean, there's no free handout here on this for the real estate side, but you got to look at it. You're in it. Everyone's in it together.
Yeah.
Business owner, building owner. Everyone's going through the same thing right now. So just try to work together as a team and try to figure out how you can make things right for both people.
And I think the key right now is, it's not so much sales, it's just being a person, being a
Yeah.
human, and trying to round out your network. So just keeping your ears open. If somebody's looking for, I would like to help in this area, a ton of people because you've sold them properties and you'd help them get into there. So all the people, so you can network and say, hey, Phil, you should meet Amanda and you guys should work together. and be able to help that way. And then you become a trusted resource down the line for when they do need something. They remember that Mike's not that pushy guy. He was there to just help me and get me through that situation.
I would always say is that, I learned a lot from the last recession. And that's when I kind of took over this, we'll call it networking mindset where,
Yep.
being a resource. But I would say that, during the good times, your business is coming. You're doing a great job. You're manufacturing a part. Things are going great. You really don't have to worry about that. But in those good times, you definitely need to make sure you're still continuously building your network around you, whether it's other suppliers, other service providers, other manufacturers that you can maybe
Yep.
team up with. And the same thing with me. It's if I didn't build this network 10 years ago during the recession, the last time when I just started asking businesses, what do you need? What's your challenge? Then I think people are starting well behind the eight ball. And, these times are critical to have your network around you. I mean, think of the banks right now and think of your relationships with banks that are, able to get you these, PPP loans and stuff like that. If you didn't have a strong relationship with them or your financial provider, whoever it may be, you're 10 steps behind and maybe you're not getting the money, unfortunately, or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
I love our banker. I love Mike at First Midwest Bank. He did an awesome job for us. He even fought to push us through in different rounds. I mean, he was great. I couldn't imagine trying to get through that without somebody that we trusted. And, all hours of the night, he's returning phone calls, 8 o'clock at night. He's like, what did you need? I'm sorry. I was a little bit tied up today, but, and he wants to go home. He's got kids. Amanda wants to make sure that you are allowed to drink with all your food allergies.
Yes, I can. Don't worry. Don't worry. There is drinking. My go-to is rum, tequila, and then wine. Those are the three things that are my go-to. So everything else has
All in
something
one
in it.
tumbler.
Yeah, it's usually a quick mix and just down the hatch.
The more potent, the better. It just gets it over with.
Yeah, no, it's, you got to take the edge off a little here. I'm not one of the people that are, saying it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm having my first drink, but
No.
you're taking the edge off. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with most people these days, these weeks, these hours, they're all blending together. I mean, it's already Friday at noon. I mean, half of those days I'm wearing a different pair of sweatpants. Usually it's a hoodie. Today I dressed up for you, Tony. I got a 3/4 zip.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that you have pants on because you could get
Yeah.
away with not.
Yeah, those memes out there are pretty hilarious. I have not put any product in my hair since March 16th. So it's,
Look at that.
I
He
know.
looks good with no product, just out
Thanks,
of bed,
Tony.
ready to go.
Thanks, Tony. It's
That Mags, good looking guy.
could we record that line and just, I can have that every day as kind of just a confidence booster.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll even do a screenshot of this and I'll just put next to it, Mags. That's a good looking guy.
Wow. That's, I think we can end the conversation here. This is the peak of probably this podcast here or this YouTube live, and we can just kind of end it right here.
I think it's important to get some positive feedback every once in a while. Hillary wants to know what's going on with your Minion.
Oh, my Minion friend behind me. So it is a Chicago Cubs Minion, and I'm obviously a huge sports fan. So my anyone that sees sports stuff usually gets me stuff for my birthday and so on and so forth. So I have my my Cubs Minion. I have my see if I can do this opposite. My Bulls three-peat hat. Got a Ditka signed football. I got some World Series stuff and some baseball bats and stuff like that. So I am I got a little too emotional when the Cubs won the World Series, and I'm just gonna say
Did you?
it wasn't a pleasant conversation when my wife kept seeing too many things being showed up, shipped at the house, and she's like, "Now would you buy? Now would you buy?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "Never question my Amazon purchases again." I go, "Done, fair."
At least you have a room to put them all in. That's nice.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We have an extra bedroom here that kind of gets me away from the family in some sense. I mean, trust me, we're spending time that we will never get back here over the last 30 days. I've been home for dinner every single day, as you can imagine.
How about it?
I'm help cooking. I'm help doing all these things that I'm never home. So this is great in terms of family. So if you're looking for a silver lining,
absolutely,
the family time, watching movies, playing games, doing that stuff. There's the flip side where obviously we butt heads as some nice we have some nice moments in the family, and then we have some moments where we're all yelling at each other. But that's typical and
That
normal,
comes with
especially right
family
now.
time.
Yeah, that's why it's family.
And I think that's what's important, is that silver lining where, forever people have said, I wish I had more family time. I wish I could get home. I wish I had less stuff to do on the weekends. And it's like, ta-da, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, trust me. And we talked about this before, and you saw this on Facebook. So, my last gaming system in the house was PS2, and that was bought a
Old
long,
school.
long time ago. Long time ago. I just never have time to play it. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to get something in the house. So, I'm looking for Switch. I'm looking for Wii. I mean, on the black market, those things are like $500 because they're sold out. I'm like, I'm not spending 500 on Switch. If I'm going to spend $500, I'm going for something above and beyond. So, another emotional purchase. I bought PS4 with the virtual reality, and I'm going to tell you, we're having so much fun. The girls are doing Just Dance. We're all doing Creed, which is boxing. So we have the headset on, and we're literally doing boxing matches. So I've thrown probably about 300 punches a day, and I'm going to tell you, you can work out all you want on different things, push-ups, sit-ups, but when you start throwing 300 plus punches a day, there's a new soreness that you're never going to find and never going to find out. So
I
the
remember
girls,
when we first came out, we played Wii baseball. You'd throw your shoulder out throwing nothing.
yep, yep. Well, they used to use for Wii, they used to use bowling as in the retirement homes as therapy,
Amanda,
physical therapy.
what's your high score on Wii bowling, Amanda?
She
Larry
doesn't.
says he's with you. He doesn't wear any hair product either, but Larry's got like the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing going on. He's like the Stone Cold of the mold making
Nice.
industry.
Nice. Yeah, I'm lucky. I have a person that cut my hair the day before Easter, so I'm not going to tell you who it is, just to keep confidentiality so no one gets in trouble by any state and local government official. But I was lucky to get a haircut about a week ago. Yeah, Amanda's not too happy with your.
I mean, she's an expert bowler.
She teaches college kids to bowl. I don't think
Yeah.
we is up to her par. I think she might actually get off this. She might just leave this chat right now and just say, I'm done with both of you.
Well, maybe the college kids can teach her how to Wii bowl.
Ooh, now you're going down a slippery slope.
Do you want to tell everybody what Christians in Manufacturing is doing with TMA, or is that still top secret?
I don't think it's top secret. Honestly, I have to push it over to the goal line, we'll call it.
Yep.
So the idea that we talked about was to raise money for, a cause. We typically have our service event each year, and that is your Feed My Starving Children. And we last year we had 85 people there.
Yeah.
So we had about 85 people that went to Feed My Starving Children and packed umpteen boxes, which it's just a great feeling. I brought my whole family, and just to leave, to walk out of there and know how many people you've helped that are in need.
Yep.
Obviously we complain here in our houses in the northwest suburbs or wherever we are in Chicago, and it's first world problems. But obviously there's other problems in the world. So our goal that we're trying to put together now, and I have to I asked you to be on it and a couple other people. So we want to raise money and raise supplies for maybe even buying healthcare workers lunch or dinner or something like that. We're trying to finalize it to see what we can do to help, because that's just what it's all about now, to help when you can, and especially in time of need.
Yeah. I love it. I'm all in. So if people want to participate, can they?
I believe so. I think we just have to finalize the details. I need to get TMA's approval, so I'm waiting for Amanda to
Oh,
come
so maybe I
back.
spoke out of turn.
I don't know.
I've never done that before.
No, not a chance. Not someone who owns his own live streaming podcast. You're PC 24/7.
Always.
Yeah. So I think so. I think we'll open it up to all TMA. I just last week, believe it or not, this last week has actually been pretty busy with work. So kind of grateful for that.
Yeah.
So as things kind of come and go throughout the market on my side, but yeah, I'll jump on that here this weekend and try to see if we can finalize it with the committee and Timothy and everyone else to give the green light.
Yeah. And I can't imagine anybody not wanting to be part of that. I mean, like you said earlier, the healthcare workers have been so amazing, just literally putting their own life at risk while they're helping other
Yeah.
people, not knowing what's going to happen, and then going home to their own families, which is its own fear in itself. But you know, that's their gig, and for a long time I think they've been underappreciated. And maybe another silver lining is all those people that have been underappreciated are fully appreciated now.
Yep. Yep. That, unfortunately, it takes a crisis to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a crisis to do a lot of things, but unfortunately, sometimes a silver lining is that people are a little more appreciated. And, you know, the one thing that I do want to see more is people supporting each other.
Yep.
That's all I want to see. I mean, at one point, I was about to just delete all my social media and just say, I'm done with all of you. I'm sorry. I can't take all this negative. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's political. I don't care what. Just stop this inner fighting.
Yeah.
I've had enough. I mean, we had people on our Facebook page for our neighborhood. You know, our kids were, you know, and I'll say the story. I really don't care. Our kids were riding their bikes, and they had one other friend with them. They stopped at the park by the benches, and I think maybe they sat there for a couple minutes. Well, all of a sudden on our Facebook page, you know, 4 middle-aged kid or middle school kids are there. You should call, you know, should we call the cops? And 5 people right after that said, call the cops. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, it's, we just have to support each other at this time. And, you know, we're all in it at the same, you know, no one's going through something that's, you know, that's going to be terribly different because we're all doing the same thing,
Yeah.
whether it's at an office, well, not an office, but if someone's still working, but 90% of us are at home and just trying to make the best of it.
And that's what this was, right? Like I agree with you on Facebook and everything else. And it's so opposite. There's nobody that's actually trying to get along and have a conversation. It's like people just want to fight to fight. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was talking with, I don't even remember who it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing a positivity thing. We're just going to get on and we're going to talk about whatever makes us happy. And some of it'll be work related. Some of it won't. It'll be whatever we want to talk about. It's friends sitting around the lunch table without touching or breathing on each other.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know when we're going to have lunch together again, Tony.
We're
It might be
having lunch
July.
now.
True.
Except I'm not eating now. I'm going to go have McDonald's with my mother. I want some French fries.
Yeah, I took my 6-year-old to McDonald's yesterday and got her ice cream and French fries, and you know the 10-year-old didn't want to go, but of course I brought her something. The 12-year-old was off with her friend. So, yeah, you know what? It's interesting how you kind of look at things in perspective now that you're sitting at home and now that you have family time.
Yeah,
I
you
find
said you
myself
were looking at it through your kids' eyes.
I find myself looking at through my kids' perspective, and before I start, disciplining them, or maybe saying that, yelling is, Italians never yell. So,
Either do
but
Greeks.
yeah, it's probably this true both for both. But I find myself looking through things and relating things through their eyes. Is when they're, when they have meltdown or down days or whatever it is, we're having the same thing.
Right.
We're looking outside like that dog that can't go outside, and it's depressing at times. But the fun part about it is, the kids always have something to say or something to do to lighten up the whole mood, the mood. And it's just fun. Like my 6-year-old is trying to do this Wii boxing. It's hilarious. Or I'm sorry, PlayStation 4 boxing. She's fighting the Russian in Creed, and it's hilarious. She's like, that big guy knocked me out. I go, just keep practicing. So I guess in some way I'm teaching my girls self-defense, which is great.
There you go.
But I start looking at through their eyes and just say, look, we're in this together, stick as a family, and we'll get through this. And hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But I would rather just do these fun conversations, and as opposed to start talking about something that's negative and go down a dark path.
It's so funny. I've had more conversations with my son about his schooling since they've been doing e-schooling than I ever have in my life. And it's so funny to hear, because I would have no idea that he's having the situations that he's having. I learned that he hates the book of Mice and Men.
Okay.
And he can't understand why anybody ever made that a book. There's no positivity in there. There's nothing good. He hated it so much. And then like the next day he sent me a message, and I hope his teacher's not going to watch this. he sent me a message and he's like, do you look at the stuff I have to deal with? And his assignment was to go back and remember a time of sadness and loss and write about how he felt about it and how he got through it and how he processed it and all these things. And he's like, why do I have to focus on negativity? Why can't we just talk about positive things? Why don't you ask me to write something about a time where I was happy? And I said, you know what? You should do that. You should write to your teacher and explain to her what your thought is and how you feel, and then send her that. And he said, oh, that sounds like more work. I'm good. I'll just do the assignment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is, we all had to read that book, and yeah, there's really no silver lining in that book.
We were supposed to read that book.
I hope the teacher's not watching.
I cannot confirm or deny that I did or did not read that book.
Didn't hear anything. Don't worry.
It is what it is. All right. I think my lunch break is almost over.
It's fine with me. You tell me. I just appreciate you having me on. It's always good to catch up with you, and all these questions and good comments on the YouTube are just making my day here.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm going to keep doing it. Hillary and I are going to be back on Monday and do another chat and chow and just talk about what's happened since Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Man, the days just really mixed, don't they?
Yeah, it's just really a day. That's it. It's the weekday and then no work day. That's what it is.
Luckily, I've been going to the office, so I do have a change between my weekday and my weekend. So that's been good.
I feel that wearing jeans is like a suit now. So, if I put on jeans, my wife's like, where are you going? I'm like, no, I just want to feel like regular. Want to feel normal in this world. I bought 2 suits in December from Men's Warehouse on this like huge sale.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to wear those next. I should just wear them around the house.
Well, you better be careful and keep up the wee boxing, or else they're not going to fit right after this quarantine situation.
I'm nervous about that. I'm definitely nervous about that. But well, thanks again, Tony. I appreciate it, and everyone who followed us on it. This is great.
Last time when we wrapped up, Hillary and I said a quick prayer, and I think there's nothing more positive than that, as far as I'm concerned. So, would you like to lead us today?
Tony, I'm gonna throw that back to you.
That's how I usually am. I have friends that are like, we have a small group, and they're like, "Why don't you pray for us?" I'm like, you got it. You're good.
Tony, you're good at. You're better than them. Better than myself at it.
I don't think. Before. See, here's what I'm trying to realize: there's no better or worse at praying, or there shouldn't be.
I'm just trying to defer. Let's be honest.
I agree. I'm usually right there with you, but I will do it, and then we'll get out of here, and then you can have the rest of your day. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us technology. Thank you for allowing us to connect with people, even though we're not face to face and in the same space. It's a miracle what you've done for us. Thank you for all the people that you've been healing and all the ways that you've been changing the world for the positive, and all of the ways that you're putting our perspectives into check. Thank you for just being with us and watching over us and providing for us and making sure that we're all taken care of. And we love you, and it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And if you want to leave some comments afterwards and let us know how we did, awesome. Just don't tell me to quit, because I'm not going to do that. I don't care that much. I'm having fun with it. So thanks, Mike. Thanks everybody for listening, and have a good weekend.
Take care.